which butter should I buy? So the question was asked whether salted butter is not good for you and whether you should only buy unsalted butter. And of course, we know that plant butter is not butter. So no seed oil butter, no canola butter, no margarine, or any of the fat spreads, because they are all plant-based. So we are only talking about real butter, and that is made with dairy. And salted versus unsalted. So here's my opinion. I buy the cheapest butter that I can find. I currently can buy salted butter for 59 Rand at Pick n Pay, and sometimes for 69 Rand. And other times I can buy for 54 Rand at Spar. And Checkers also has specials at times, as long as it's real butter. So if I go into a shop, I will not buy butter if it's expensive, because I eat a lot of butter, and I work with people that cannot afford to eat expensive, and their first complaint is the carnivore diet is expensive. So I want to prove to them that the carnivore diet is affordable and sustainable. So the question was posed, is salted butter bad for you? And there might be merit in the fact that the salt that they are using in the salted butter is table salt, which has anti-caking agents in it, and it is refined. And there's a lot to say about salt. If you Google salt, sea salt, you'll find good information about salt. But it's like the argument between grass-fed beef versus grain-finished beef. It's the same argument, because if you discourage somebody to not do the carnivore diet because of not being able to afford butter, if they consume a lot of butter, then I would say, no, don't discourage someone to not do the carnivore diet just by telling them not to use salted butter. But if you say that unsalted butter is better, I can agree with that. I don't have a problem to agree with that. But it's just that it's 30 Rand or 40 Rand more. So does it make such a huge difference? I think what makes the huge difference is reversing insulin resistance, reversing type 2 diabetes, reversing metabolic syndrome. And will salted butter hold you back? I don't think so. I've been using salted butter from the beginning. There are people that did more research than me on salt, and they are more clued up than me on salt, and especially on Niku Goodchild's Hyena Carnivore site. I support him 100%, and if he say that unsalted butter is better for you, I agree with him on that. And if you say you shouldn't buy salted butter, that is up for him to decide whether to tell people to buy not to buy salted butter at all. But it's fine. I don't have a problem with people not buying salted butter. But myself, I use salted butter. Yeah, so at the end of the day, we don't have to agree on everything. You'll see in the carnivore community, there are people from different perspectives. They don't agree on everything, and that's why we have conversation, and that's why we have discussion, and we learn from each other. And you can always change your mind. I've changed my mind many times on the carnivore journey as I learn more and as I discover more, and maybe in future I discover that really I was wrong on salt. Then I will make the correction. By the way, I've got a video on too much salt. So a high salt intake can cause you to become insulin resistant in 5 days. If you overconsume salt, does not matter what salt, you will become insulin resistant. It's according to a study that they have done. Check out video Q65 on my frequently asked question playlist. So this is question number 100 on the frequently asked questions: salted butter or unsalted butter? In the end, it's your choice. So I've interviewed clients of mine here in Polokwane, Francois and Madeleine, and they are 7 years on the carnivore diet, and they make their own butter. So I asked them to make a video for us on how they make their own butter from cream, and that video will come in a couple of weeks, I believe. We are still busy editing the video of the interview. We have a lot of work to do, and my wife is our editor, and she's behind the camera. And yeah, so it's a wonderful testimony, and it's a testimony about how the carnivore diet helped their child with Asperger's syndrome. It's a spectrum it's on the spectrum of autism, and night and day difference what the carnivore diet did for their child and for the family's benefit and health. But that's an interview that will come out in a couple of weeks' time, and I'm looking forward to the butter video, how to make butter for yourself. And of course they are using coarse sea salt, I believe, or Kalahari salt, which is better than table salt. I think that is what the argument is behind the salted butter that we are buying on the shelves. Of course they are using the cheapest there in their factories. But thank you. And Nico Goodchild, thank you for what you do on your site. I appreciate you. So give Nico Goodchild a follow. If you go to my blog, carnivoreway.blogspot.com, and you scroll all the way down to video number 74, there's a link to his TikTok channel. Nico can cook much better than I can, and look at his recipes.